possible conditions going.
Thank you very much indeed. Bob Crow, General Secretary of the Rail, Maritime and Transport Union, who's won more than £50,000 for tube drivers. George Galloway joins us, broadcaster and former MP, as does Alex Singleton, blogger for the Daily Mail, former research director at the Adam Smith Institute. Alex Singleton, what did you make of that interview?
I think he's doing what his members want, but the fact is that everyone wants more money, and you cannot run a society in which everyone in the public sector is just paid more and more and more money endlessly, because the taxpayer is being fleeced. There's huge amounts of public sector debt. We're not paying the debt off. This current government is only slightly reducing the deficit, not even tackling the debt. And it's unaffordable. And frankly, I think it's bonkers that somebody who drives a tube train should be paid so much more than a soldier or a nurse. Fact is, this is one of the simplest jobs in Britain. On some tube lines, they don't even drive the train. They just sit in the cabins and press the button to turn the doors, to open the doors and close the doors. They're not even real drivers. And for that button-pressing job, they're paid going to be paid £52,000. It's mad.
George Galloway, is it mad?
What a cheek. A blogger for the Daily Mail, an egghead for the Adam Smith Institute, traducing hard-working railway worker. What a cheek. I would have thought he would have appreciated Bob Crow's approach. After all, doesn't the Adam Smith Institute know the price of everything and the value of nothing? Don't they believe in capitalism? This is market forces. This is free collective bargaining. The union bargained a price for its labour, the labour of its members, and the company agreed to pay it.
The taxpayers agreed to pay it, effectively. They are only able to earn this money because it's run by the public sector, and the public sector doesn't want to have strikes. And the fact is that what ought to happen on the London Underground is that all the trains should be run completely driverless, like there are in other parts of the world. For the last over 40 years, places such as Barcelona have had trains running that are driverless. There's no need to employ drivers.
The 3.1 million passengers a day in London, if they want to be driven on a driverless train. You wouldn't know how to open the door on a train, never mind press the buttons. You wouldn't know how to do 8 hours of hard, stressful, responsible manual labour. What a cheek you've got coming on here with this guff.
Well, we can all be gratuitous, but the fact is...
You've never done a hard day's work in your life, man.
He's a journalist, George.
He's a journalist, exactly. He's a journalist on the Daily Mail, which stands up for the capitalist system. All Bob Crow is doing is bargaining a price for his members' labour. And most people on the London Underground who travel every day on it think that it's a good thing that we've got a driver in the cab, a responsible person working hard, 8 hours a day. And I happen to know train drivers. And believe me, the number of injuries, sickness, back problems and the rest through driving all day for a living is unrecognisable for an egghead from the goddamn Adam Smith Institute.
I have actually worked laying bricks and mixing mortar.
Right.
Yes, because I come from a family of builders.
But
the fact is, well, you can say that, but just being gratuitously offensive doesn't change the fact that actually most people who travel on the tube find it extremely expensive. The fact is, ticket prices are going to keep on going up. I always feel, a sense of pain when I have to pay for my monthly travel card because it is really expensive.
But Alex,
and there are people on £18,000, £12,000 a year for whom travel in London is extortionate. And if we could cut the costs substantially of the London Underground, which we could easily do by getting rid of drivers, actually I think people would welcome that.
I'm just conscious Jeremy, Henry Ford once said that he could make cars by robot without having any workers, and the workers said, but in that case, who will buy your cars? These train drivers are spending their wages in the British economy. They're not salting it away in offshore tax havens. They're not investing it in other people's countries. They're spending it in the shops, in the restaurants, on the cabs, on the services and goods on sale in London. Without their wages, our economy would be in an even more desperate state than it is.
George, if we accept that Bob Crow has done an amazing job here, whether you think the outcome is good for Britain or not, who would you think he should represent next? I mean, do you think he should go into battle for pensioners or nurses or I don't know, civil engineers?
As a matter of fact, there's no union leader leader who does more battle for other groups of workers. Bob Crow is not an I'm all right Jack man. The RMT is at the forefront in all the fights for justice, at home and abroad. But as he rightly pointed out, it's not his job to run the Adam Smith Institute or the BBC. It's his job to get the best price for the labour of his members who pay him to do so. And they're happy. And in a market forces system, which is what we've got, then I think he's doing... If everyone did as good a job in their daily work
We'd be
as
bust.
Bob Crow, the country would be booming.
Thank you very much indeed. Two very different views there. George Galloway, ex-MP, and Alex Singleton, blogger for the Daily Mail, former research director at the Adam Smith Institute. This is the new one from James Morrison.